What is going on, Big Blue Nation? Hey, we are live. Live, Selena. How does that
We
feel?
are live. I'm not sure. I'm here. I'm here for it. Oh, we pouring it. Okay. So
I
I
told you.
am not joining you in the pouring today. I'm recovering from girls' night last night, and a time was had, but I am not ready for alcohol right now. I'm drinking my
How
water like
was
a good person.
how was the ladies' night?
We were feral. That's the best way to describe it. We were at the banks, and I think we went to every bar at the banks possible and had entirely too much alcohol, and a lot of dancing was had and other things, but
It's
it's
not,
fine.
I don't think there's no such thing as too much.
This is true. There's not.
I mean, you regret it, but I don't think there's a thing as too much.
I have slept most of the day, to be fair. Majority of the day.
Sounds like a perfect Sunday to me. But so recapping, we finally did it. We finally got 2 wins in 1 week. We said we're going to come back. We tamed two sets of Tigers this week. Smacked LSU around senior night. It was great.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we got a big road win, another top 15 win program, and I saw out there on Twitter college basketball record for a number of top 15 wins in a season
Hmm.
in Pope's very first season, which is wild. But yeah, the game was good. Didn't start off well. Scrappy win. First 4 minutes, I was real nervous. But would you
Hmm.
take from how the boys went there and showed up against Missouri, which is a hell of a team, especially defensively.
Um, yeah, so first off, it's crazy to think that we haven't won 2 games in a row this season at CC. That's wild to me to think about.
Yeah,
Um, that just doesn't seem right, but I guess it is. Um, I so Missouri, I saw this tweet I heard earlier too. Missouri had the perfect game plan on how to defend us. At first, they were definitely um this our screens weren't getting as open. But then as soon as Pope figured it out, it was kind of game over from there. They couldn't adjust to the adjustments that Pope made essentially, which I appreciate that in my coach. Obviously, good job, Pope. We love it. Um, Nobody gave us a chance to win that game. Nobody gave us a chance to win that game because Missouri was 18-1 at home
yep.
this season. So I like to just sip my water and smile with that one. I'm happy. I'm happy with the
Yeah,
boys' turnout.
there was a lot of doubt that Kentucky was going to get
Hmm.
that win, especially
Yep.
from the always popular ESPN crew, uh, the law firm of JJ and Seth, just looking stupid again.
But every time
All
Seth picks us, we lose. He's like a kiss of death.
oh, I didn't know that,
So
but yeah, I'll keep an
I
eye
think,
out from now on.
yeah. What was it? I think it's the Auburn game he picked UK to win. Maybe he's at one.
No, but I thought
But
one. I don't know if you saw. We were watching the game, and Jackson Boys was we were watching it, and I was educating him after as Carr was playing so well that there was a lot of Carr hate going around over the last month or so as he was working back
yeah,
from the injury, and
yeah,
I said there needs to be some people that apologize to that man, and then we had the little rando recap that we do after the show. He came on
yeah.
there. He said, "BBN, you need to apologize to that man." Well, not all of them, buddy. Not all of them. He was very direct. I said, "This is some." He just came out and was like, "Hey, y'all bum asses need to apologize. All of BBN
Hey, he
sucks."
said on business over there. He's
Yeah.
about that.
Yep. And but no, the car came out. Shoot, if he's gonna shoot like that, with confidence and it going in, no hesitation. Um,
Hmm.
Truly stretching the floor out on as the four, and then we know how his post work is. Not only his offensive play, but the way he just kind of kept the team together, the glue of the team, because it started to
Hmm.
unravel there for a little bit. Missouri started cranking up. They went on that run, and there were
Yeah.
some definite turnovers that would have led to transition buckets or second chance opportunities that
Hmm.
he just was there. Those 50-50 balls, Carr was the dude to get it. And he created plays that turned them in. That Brea throw that he saved from half court that turned into Ortega 3, that really just started stretching that game out there in the that last quarter of the second half. But
Yeah.
yeah, Carr was massive. If we get that dude throughout the postseason, we will be dangerous.
It wasn't even his offense, his defense too. Like that that might be the best I've seen Carr look all season, and that's including the Duke Gonzaga game. Defensively, he was so much better yesterday than he had been all season. Whether it was loose balls, 50-50 balls, rebounding, he had that insane offhand block under the rim, and I was like, okay, okay,
That's
I
two in a
see.
row. That's two in a
Yeah, I
row.
know.
The
Like,
LSU game that he had the block that went to Ortega, that went to that yam from
mhm.
Lamont Butler. I mean, he's yeah. Now he lives in the paint, so he's going to get dunked on a couple of times. He's got a couple. He's got a couple bad highlights. Um,
Right.
but if he's defensively, the shot blocking that he has or that he's shown. Every time he takes a fall, though, I'm waiting for that back to like kind of flare up
It
again because he
scares
is
me
taking
every
some.
time. I'm
He's
like,
taking some
"Don't do this."
dangerous collisions in the paint, but he's popping back up
Yeah.
every time. You'll see him like a little, he's almost. I think
Mhm.
he's almost expecting to. You see him reach for that lower back, like he's expecting it to hurt, but he's staying healthy. Just keep that
Mhm.
daggum heat pad for
That
when he's
brace
on the
on you all
bench.
times, my boy,
Yep,
all time.
yep, and you see him consistently on the bike, just trying to stay loose. Whatever you got to do,
Mhm.
because he
Mhm.
is definitely an X factor. Uh, your boy Caleb, I was gonna no, not this is your boy sarcastically. Caleb Grill,
Oh,
the
oh,
35-year-old
I was like,
insurance salesman. No, we'll
he's
get to
40, by
Colin.
the way? Okay.
Yeah, he looked. I mean, his profile picture or whatever the hell you called like the player picture on
Oh,
ESPN
yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
do him
yeah.
any favors
Yeah.
either. Like, good.
Mm-mm.
I mean, come on,
Mm-mm.
we got Photoshop, we got all this stuff now to make him at least look like he's in college. The man looks like he's been graduated since uh, 13 when I graduated. But he the leading their leading scorer coming off the bench, a microwave type dude who can see one go in, and Ortega always defense on him. Good grief! I mean, I saw Ortega was just running suicides all game trying to keep up with him, and the way he was fighting through screens, going over screens, running people over if he have to, whatever he had to do to make sure Caleb Grill did not feel comfortable in that game. And I think he ended with 8 points. So a dude who's averaging 14, 15 points a game, who has the ability to go off for 20 plus if he can get hot from three. He could have definitely Jack Golkied us if we let him, but we had a dude who was
That's a
just
bad name,
physical.
Rando.
I know,
Um,
I know.
that's a bad name.
It's
No,
true though. He's that kind of shooter.
no, you're right. He is. He is. Um, not only Oweh, but Chandler's defense on him was ridiculous too.
Yeah,
Chandler was on him like glue the entire game when he was in there. Um, and we made his life a nightmare, which is fine. That's what we need to do, right? We need to do that because other teams are gonna have shooters like that. We're gonna have to play just like that, which is great for us, great practice for us. Because I think watched him against it was Alabama, and he was the rim was the ocean, like he couldn't miss when Alabama was there. Um, that's good, but I'm happy overall. I am very very happy with yesterday's win
those
for
last
sure.
we needed those last two games. I think as a fan
Mhm.
base, as a team, like for us now, we're feeling a little more confident. We got back-to-back wins in SEC play, big road win, top 15 team going into the tournament. You kind of fight back to get a 6 seed. We were solidified in that first round bye, but to sit there and you win that game at Missouri, and then you're competing for a 5 seed. We end up getting a 6 seed because the way that the rest of the league played out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think we needed that one to show like we can still win and we can still score in volume without Jackson Robinson on
Yeah.
the court. Right? The team needed that kind of confidence going into it. Um, but go ahead. I know you. I know
Kobe
you
Brea.
wanted.
Kobe Brea yesterday. Listen, that man,
Yes,
that man was like, the ball's in my hands. The ball is not going in the basket. You can try to guard me, but good luck. Like that logo three,
yeah.
ridiculous. The step back,
The logo
ridiculous.
three. I mean, yeah. The
Cheers, Emmett.
He was absolutely in his bag.
Mhm. Mhm.
The three where he went between the legs, like between just 3-4 times, hit him with the step back, and then the fadeaway from the opposite side block that went in. Like if
Mm,
he's making that shot,
that was so nasty. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when he's seeing a big bucket, and if he continues to see a big bucket, he's going to be dangerous. And that was my take. Like he is not Jackson Robinson. He is 100% not. Um, you know, a dude who consistently go 30 plus. I felt like Jackson Robinson could give you that special tournament run.
Yeah.
I don't know that Bray is that dude, but I think he's a 15 to 18 point average easily as a starter who can kind of fill that role. He's shown up the ability to get to the bucket if they're gonna play up on him and not give him the
Mhm.
space. And he's starting to show confidence where even if they're not giving me space, I'm just going to pull it from the logo and drop it on your face anyways. Like I have that sort of range.
Yeah.
So if he's playing with that sort of confidence, and if he's going to be shit talking opposing fan bases like he is, I'm
With the
all
hit him with
about
the
it.
cry face.
Yeah. Yep.
I was
The
like,
the cry
okay,
face,
okay.
the Kentucky flashing the Kentucky against
Mhm.
Tennessee, both games. Like I'm all about that. He's definitely going to be someone who Pope's going to lean on. And he's playing a bunch of minutes. That's the only thing that kind of makes me nervous is that
He is.
he is a
He
dude
is.
who's playing
Yeah.
a bunch of minutes, and that shows you the confidence that Coach Pope has in him because he is reluctant to play anybody a significant amount of time consistently. Brea seems to be on the court all the time.
Well, I think that's too because so with the confidence thing you said that. So post game yesterday, both Andrew Carr and Pope were even like, if he's shooting, we're just running back because we're that confident in his shot going in, right? So they
Yeah.
said that yesterday. But also, I all right,
Forgot
goodbye.
about the
I
light. I forgot
think.
about the light.
Oh, okay, okay. I also think you have to have in Pope's offense, and for it to work without having Jackson, you have to have someone on the court at all times that is that legitimate threat to hit a three from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Brea gives you that. So I think that is kind of why you've seen his minutes kind of uptick a lot because he does give you that threat at all times. So the defense has to respect this on the court, which changes how they play. Um, but it does worry me when you go into postseason and you're playing, 2 games in 48 hours potentially, and how much can his legs kind of handle playing 38 minutes a game in that regard.
Yeah, it's gonna be big for those that first game, whoever we're playing, it's going to be a team that shouldn't compete with us. So put him away early so he doesn't have to have those minutes, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
and but I mean, let's shoot. It's tough not to talk about the NCAA tournament because it's like right around the corner. But we got the SEC tournament, right here, and I think Pope
First,
really,
yeah.
really finds that important because of you know I think he knows how the fan base feels about
Hmm.
traveling to Nashville, spending so much money. People are saving up for this, for a full year out to be able to go and spend a weekend in
Yep.
Nashville and watch Kentucky do well in the tournament and get to a Sunday, and it hasn't happened in a while. So I think
So
it's
long.
important to him. I do think it's very very crucial to understand that the SEC tournament is massive, and as much as I want a tournament win in SEC, in Nashville, I want to get to Sunday. I want to talk about Pope getting a SEC title in his first year, but like again, managing minutes and being smart, thinking that like the goal SEC tournament Sunday is not banner nine, right? So like that, the goal is the NCAA tournament. So it's a fine line, and he's been, I ebb and flow in how I handle his manipulation of minutes during a game.
Yes,
In
yes,
game, in game, I am so invested in like wanting to win that I'm like, I don't understand what you're doing, Mark.
hmm
Please, God, explain this to me. You cannot pull four dudes who are stars at the same time, and our backups are now playing their story. But then I come on here and I have some time to digest and go, hey, but at the end of the day, like these dudes got to stay healthy, and they're playing 35 minutes a game. That's not
Hmm.
a way to do that. That being said, I do think in the Missouri game we saw a little bit of a cheat code for Lamont Butler sitting, and that's Travis Perry being the point guard when he sits. I think we need to get away from the Kobe Brea or Otega Owe as the primary ball handler, or even having Amari come out and playing that point center. I mean, he does that with Lamont on the floor, anyways. But when Lamont goes out, Travis Perry has shown that he can facilitate this offense. He can keep it afloat. He sees the floor well. Does he present an issue on defense, like his on-ball defense? Yes, but I think we can help him in ways to where if even if we're trading buckets at this point with Lamont on the floor, that's better than 8-10 point swing when we don't have someone to help kind of really keep the offense flowing. You agree with that? Like, how do you see Travis Perry growing throughout the postseason, or his I guess
Um,
his role growing?
he's he's unique to me in a way, because he's not always played point guard. So this is something he's kind of stepped into, right, as his season has gone on, and he's adjusted to it very well. And obviously, the kid can ball. Like, you don't score that many points in school without being able to play ball. But with that being said, defensively, even if it's not even on ball, he gets bullied a lot. Like, if driving, post play, if a guard goes post him up, he gets bullied a lot on that regard. Um, and the offense doesn't flow as freely whenever he's in the point. And that's not just because of the fact that Amari takes it more often than not. It's also because he doesn't have the ability of Butler to drive the ball and collapse the defense at the same time. So I think if Travis Perry is taking Butler's minutes, like resting minutes, and being the point guard, then the offense might have to change a little bit in how it's ran, just because that driving ability is gone from that point forward a little bit. But overall, though, I think he's grown tremendously in the point guard spot this season. And I think that will also be a huge help going forward. But it's just not quite to the level of Lamont. And you see that in production. You see that in point production whenever Lamont's gone. Like, you see the offense slow down and become more stagnant whenever Lamont's not on the court.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not fighting you there. I just think there is less of a drop off with him playing point than there is with Otega or Kobe
Oh,
doing it.
well, yeah, because that's not their game, right? Like, Otega is a driver. He's like, get to the basket, give me the ball on the sideline, let me go. Let me go from the wing to the elbow for the pull up shot. And Kobe is a, hey, let me either come off a screen, get the ball and hunt my shot, come off a screen and shoot the ball type of thing. So in that regard, yes, but there's still a change on the offense runs. The ball doesn't move as quickly either, I don't believe, even when Travis is in there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Lamont is a one of one type dude, so when he comes off, there's going to be some regression. And
Yeah.
I will challenge you a little bit that I've seen Travis Perry break a dude down or use his 3 point shooting ability to get somebody off their feet and get to the rim. So he can get there. It's his ability to finish is what really is the difference between him and Lamont, because Lamont doesn't really possess. We've seen him make shots, but he doesn't pose the same 3 point threat that Travis does. So when he's on the floor, he
Right.
stretches out a little bit, and we just seen him there's been twice where he has gotten to the rim and has been absolutely assaulted going to the basket, and there's no foul
This
call.
is true.
The one on yesterday, I would argue that was just a soft take. Like, he just went there
Mm-hmm.
soft. He didn't actually look to draw contact. That was probably a good no call. But I mean, if it's Mark Sears going to the basket, he's getting that call, right? So he just kind of has to earn that respect, I think. But if he can learn to finish around the rim, and he's not a, how do I say this without sounding disrespectful? Like, he's not a super imposing individual. Like, you look at him and he's like, yeah, he's kind of your average white who can shoot well, right? Right. He's not getting to the basket, and people aren't scared to go up and challenge him at the bucket, right? Does that
Average
make
white that can shoot well. Holy
yeah?
shit.
I'm just
All
saying
right.
that's like if you look at him, he's if he passed you on the street, and you didn't, especially mustache Travis Perry, if he passed you on the street and you looked at him, he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm sure he's probably great in the Y rec league." Like you don't think he's a
I am
killer
glad he
like
got the
he is.
mustache. The mustache was not
Had
it
to
for
go.
me. It
Mustache,
had to go.
mustache
Like I
TP
was
had to
like,
go.
but what are we doing?
Yeah. So I actually this is our first live show, guys. So I completely forgot to even pull the comments. I pulled them over, and they're in abundance. So I will. I'll talk to Adam's always on here. Um, Emmett says he's drinking with me. I appreciate it. I'm not driving solo here. Um, but yeah, that's I think Travis Perry's going to be big.
Hmm.
And my take yesterday when we did the recap was, and I'll let you talk on Colin because you're there. You're got to be one of the biggest Colin fans. Within BBN, you did not give up your faith on him.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Mm-mm.
I think if we get Travis Perry, Trent Noah, and Colin Chandler, if the three of them give us 12 to 15 a game, right? Especially with the way Colin can play defense. So he's going to be on the court, I think, a lot to cover
Hmm.
some of the Jackson
Hmm.
Robinson minutes. Because let's not fool ourselves. If Pope was at BYU and Jackson Robinson was still there, Colin Chandler was the dude to come be that heir apparent to Jackson Robinson. That's how I see it. Like he was the guy to come in and be the number one, go to guy, just like Jackson Robinson was. I know Jackson Robinson was the sixth man of the year, but I see that was he was a top 35 recruit. Pope that was going to be Pope's lean on guy if he was still at BYU.
Hmm.
Um, so if we can get 12 to 15 from the three, as BBN has claimed them, the exciting whites, we're cooking with grease at this point because that's 12 to 15 that we weren't going to get early on
Right.
in the season.
Right. No, I am ecstatically happy, which is, you know what, I think that's like a oxymoron or so those cancel out somehow. I don't even know. But I am so happy for Colin Chandler. I have like everybody listens knows I have been on the Colin Chandler hype train all season. Um, because like I said before, somebody that is rated that high coming out of school, Utah Gatorade Player of the Year for the state, they don't just forget and they don't lose that talent, right? It might take a second for it to sort of like ramp back up again, but they don't lose it. And you're finally seeing him being comfortable and playing within himself, um, like on the court. And I think it stems from his defense ability. Like the better he plays defense, and like the more he comes down, like the confidence kind of flows over. He's hitting threes. That pull up three to end the half. Okay, yeah. You know
He
what?
just,
Hell yeah. You know what? Hell yeah,
yeah,
Colin. Do it every game. I don't care. Why
you're
not?
spot on. That the third C, the Colin Chandler confidence, that the confidence piece is what's massive. Like
Mm-hmm.
there has been hesitation in his play, especially on the offensive side of the ball throughout most of the season, and
Mm-hmm.
that is quickly fading away to almost at like not like where he is playing like he was in high school before he went on mission trip and didn't play ball for 2 years. Like he is coming back to the dude who was balling out before he
He,
left.
he reminds me of Big Blue Madness Colin too. Like when he was dunking and people and playing just like really loose and free. It's kind
Oh,
of
was it
he dunked.
Kobe that had the fast break that bounced past to him instead of throwing the lob? Was that Kobe that had it? There was a fast break, and I think it was Kobe driving down middle of the lane, and and Colin was running that left
Oh,
wing,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and he was prepping to go straight air Mormon on this
He
dude.
wanted
Just
to,
he was gonna just put him in a body bag,
and then
and
Kobe like,
and
"Careful bounce
yeah,
pass." He's like,
yeah,
"Damn,
Kobe
all
put the
right."
bounce pass. Kobe had zero faith in him getting up that high. Is what that turns into. Is like Kobe forgot he wasn't he the
Mm-hmm.
Big Blue Madness dunk champion. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he forgot. He
It slipped his
forgot that
mind. It's
he
fine. It's fine.
but yeah, there's two things that's massive. One, like his confidence in the extra production he can give, but he is a true like you're what the NBA has coined like the 3-and-D guy, right? Like he
Mm-hmm.
is long, he can play low, he can get into a body of a defender. He's quick, he's athletic as hell, and he's got a wet jumper that if he's feeling good, it's gonna like, it's funny. I was sitting there talking, and I was like, Colin Chandler had a big game with 8 points, and they were like, 8 points is a big game. I was like, if you knew what he was struggling through, yes, 8 points
The
is a
progression
big
is
game for
real.
him. Yeah, he was averaging like 1.2 points a game
I think
before that.
the first 19 games, it was 22 points total. And the last 6 games has been 35 points that he scored. So he is getting there. He is arriving. And I can't state enough how huge it is going forward in the postseason, how massive it is to have him finally playing how he is playing. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, we need this. We need it because with Robinson out, like, we have to have some, like, more than one person, quote unquote, to kind of step up. And his defense alone is huge enough, I think, to play
Yeah.
him.
Well, how many teams going into postseason play would go, man, we're getting 8 points average off our bench? Like they would sign up for that right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I could pluck 6 men off the bench, 7 men off the bench, and say, hey, go give me 8 in a game, and make big buckets and make big stops. Like there's no team in the country that's saying like, nah, we don't want that. So the fact that he's giving that to us now, and there's not really a lot of film on this dude, right? Like a lot of the
No,
film on him is shit, to be quite fair. So like, recently, like I think, good coaches are gonna key in on what Colin Chandler can be, his potential, and try to stop that. But you mentioned before, with the minutes, like when you're playing games, 2 games in a couple of days, it's really hard to game plan for that second game. So when
mm-hmm.
you can have, when Pope can, he can pull out that chess piece and go, hey, Colin, go do what you do. That's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's really massive. So before we move on to SEC tournament, or actually, I think before we should do a show on the SEC tournament leading into it. We should just like recap this amazing season for Pope, if you're down
Okay,
for that.
I'm down.
Um,
I'll
but
be down, of
but
course.
another person you've been really big on is Brandon Garrison. I'm curious on how you would grade it there. See, that's why I turned that other light on, because I knew it was going to go off eventually. Um,
To do the dark, you have to waving your arms around.
yeah, I'm just like, Um, so how would you grade BG's performance in the Mizzou game? And I guess this week, LSU and Mizzou.
LSU, he was exactly what we need going forward with him. Okay, LSU game was good for BG. It was a great game for BG. Mizzou game was a little
A little bit
backslide,
different.
backslide for BG. Okay, a little backslide for BG. Okay, um, I still think he has crazy potential. He's extremely athletic, like very athletic, and you can see like in the LSU game flashes of like, damn, this kid's got it. Like, he has the tools to be really, really good, right? Like he has those things. I think he's just so young still. Like I know he's a sophomore, but like he's still so young. He's got to be able to kind of carry over what he has from one game to the next. But you know what, though? We did see Amari struggle with this exact same thing beginning of the season. Amari would play great for like 10 minutes and then disappear for 20 and then come back for 5, right? Like it was never
Yeah,
consistent with Amari. And that's 100% a mental aspect of the game versus a talent issue. So if we can get LSU BG rest of the season, that's a game changer as well, because there won't be that big of a drop off when Amari's out of the game, because he's still getting you points. He's still doing things we need him to do, right? He's still rebounding, still blocking shots, still playing defense.
yep,
But if we have Missouri BG, then that's when you're going to have Amari play more minutes, because the game, whenever Amari was out, and well, especially specifically whenever Amari and Butler were out together, that's when the game sort of, we lost a lot of ground, had to make some ground up. So I just, and I know people are like, no, BG, listen, y'all can have your prints, I don't care. Okay. But if we have LSU BG, we're a different team going forward. He
yeah.
has
LSU BG. Oklahoma BG. Like
Hmm.
he is so much better. When it's very similar to, well, like the games aren't similar, but like the mindset is similar with
Hmm.
Otega Owe. Like
Hmm.
when Otega lets the game come to him, like he's naturally going to be aggressive. Like that's who he is. But
Right,
when he
right, right, right.
tries to play outside of himself and almost too aggressive and play out of control, it's not good for the team. Otega Owe.
Mm-mm.
When he lets the game come to him and he's just plays within himself and he's just naturally more gifted of a talent than most people he's playing against, and he gets those hustle plays, the steal for a breakaway dunk, and then like he just really starts getting into the game. That's when we get massive performances from Otega Owe. Very
Yep.
similar with Brandon Garrison. When he just lets the game come to him, he plays well. When he can stretch the floor as a five and he gets the ball touches the paint and he gets kicked out for a 3-point shot. He
Hmm.
catches in rhythm. He shoots it. It looks pretty. It goes in. When he's sitting there catching it at the top of the key and he's sitting there pump faking 2 3 times, and then he decides to shoot. That ain't his game. Like
We don't
that's
need
when he
that.
needs to.
We don't need that.
No, no. We very much do not need that. We also don't need him to. Like we joked before. Just you can almost like watch the live copy of the game and see him go. Okay, he is currently playing basketball. He's playing basketball. Oh, no, right there, he just forgot that he was playing on a basketball court. Like he's actively forgot what he is doing right now. Like the
Mind
turnover
like,
that
whoop,
he goes and chases down a long rebound. He's dribbling up the court. You're like, all right, dude, great play. Let's go ahead and give it to a ball handler.
and he's
Give
just
it.
like, no, we're
He's
going.
Yeah, and he's
We're
going,
going.
and then he turns and goes, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pass it this time, and then just instant turnover. Like there was like that you could see where like the connectivity just isn't there. It's like there's a you
Wi-Fi
know
connection dropped for a second.
yeah, it's like my Wi exactly right. Is this like my shit Wi-Fi here where it's just like eventually at some point in the show I'm going to freeze and glitch. It's just gonna happen.
It
That's kind
happens
of
every
like
time we
what we get.
record. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, come
it's just
back. He'll be there in a second.
yeah. They tell me AT&T tells me this is the best they got. Yeah, they suck. Anyways,
Trash.
so again, if he just lets the game come within himself, but as you have highlighted throughout the whole season and tonight, the potential is there, and what he can bring to the team, the flashes that he's shown in February and the LSU game in early March, those
Hmm.
can be game changing performances in tournament play, and it's really, really big if he can come back next year. Continuity is massive. Understanding what Pope wants is huge. So, like,
Yep.
are there more talented players that will pop up in the portal? Maybe. Who knows? But the fact that we can get a stretch five guy back if he wants to come back is massive because he knows what Pope wants. It's the system. There's continuity there. There's a leadership thing he can step into. Pope can challenge him to be more mature on and off the
Yeah.
court. Like I think there's a big piece in as much as we want to clown Chad Baker Mazzara, like he is a clown, and he cost his team against Alabama. The
Hmm.
reason why they are a number one team in the NCAA tournament is because of like the continuity that he brought from last year to this year, right? If
Mm-hmm.
he was talented enough to go
Maybe
play in the
another
league,
year
he
too, if he
would.
gets his way, Rando. Just
Oh,
saying.
I know. It's ridiculous. 26 years old playing in college ball. Um, but I mean, there's a reason why a coach wants that kind of dude back,
Hmm.
right? If he was talented enough, he would go play in the league. He is not, but he's talented enough to really hold a team together and for a coach to lean on in practice and in the game. So,
Yeah.
um, dudes like him, dudes like Kerr, I think it's really, really important that the fan base like advocates for them to come back. And I think a deep tournament run will be big for them to come back. Again, you can question how talented they are compared to the portal, but the fact that they've been here for a year, I don't
Right.
think you can it's not really tangible to measure of what that does for a team. But I'll have people tell me I'm an idiot and that I don't know what I'm talking about. But that's just how I feel. Um, but I do
I
think we
love it
should
for
probably,
sure. So I'm with you.
yeah, let's praise the team. Let's look at what's going forward. Maybe let's not talk about portal things, me included, until the season's over. Let's focus on how important this season is and this tournament run
Hmm.
is. the current. Let's stay present. Um, and then let's talk about portaling when it's time to talk about portaling. Um, but real quick, Adam is always on here, so let's jump. He's asked, "Do you like our road to the SEC tournament?" So or in the SEC tournament. So I brought
Well, I
up the
know we're
bracket
playing
here.
either Georgia or Oklahoma first.
I
Um,
want Georgia so bad.
Same.
I want Georgia. One, fears kind of terrifies me for Oklahoma having to play them
A
again.
little bit, yeah.
Two, if we get Georgia, now the boys have something to play for, right? Like, okay,
Yeah.
we remember the sting of going to Athens and getting beat. Um, but then if we win that game, we got Bama, and it's funny. We win that game against Missouri to give us a chance at the 5 seed. We end up getting the 6 seed. The 7 seed probably looked pretty good because we play Florida, who we beat already, and
Florida's different
Alabama
though.
coming.
Florida actually scares me more than anybody else does. I'm not gonna lie.
You think so?
Florida, oh my god, oh my, Randa, they're so good. Florida is so good, and I know we beat them earlier this year. They didn't have the one guy back. They weren't playing like they were playing now. They have so many weapons to beat you. Like Florida is, they're so good. Like
Yeah. Can we
they
shout
are.
out Rick Pitino real quick? Rick
Hell
Pitino
yeah.
had Walter Clayton Jr. at Iona. How does that happen? How does a dude like Walter Clayton get pulled by Rick Pitino to go to Iona and then ends up at Florida as maybe arguably the best point guard in the league for what he can do? So
Some players don't mature until they're in college. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like everyone's
yeah,
caught up on all these high school prospects, and that's fine. But you're seeing that some of these kids that um you're seeing some of these kids that weren't super highly rated out of high school go to college, and then I mean it's you see them exploding. Like Walter Clayton's a perfect example of that, right? Like
yeah. So I think yeah. I agree that they're good. I was going off the fact that, like, we beat them. I think we match up well with them. If we have Lamont and can shut Walter Clayton Jr. down a little bit, maybe not shut him down, slow him down. And then
it's
we can
for me, it's
we can
their post players. It's the hand locked in and the other guy that their
Condon.
problems. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Condon's a
They're
problem.
they're
Yeah,
they're bigger of a problem, I think, than their what Walton Clayton is for us, because of Butler and Gardner, obviously. But our bigs have trouble with bigs that are that mobile and that quick.
yeah. I
So,
mean, you saw it as good as Amari played at Missouri. Um, their post play really bothered him.
mm-hmm.
Both him and Garrison because they were um,
That one
quick,
kid, I forgot
agile.
his
They
name
stretch the
already, was
floor.
really
But yeah, so Jaron believes he thinks I agree. I mean, I think they're fighting for a 1 seed. I think that's probably solidified now. I think the committee has shown that they truly don't care about conference play. We saw that last year when we didn't win a single game in the SEC tournament and still didn't move a seed line. So, um, but yeah, Florida's got championship pedigree. Um, which is wild. I mean, Todd Golden, they come back in there and turn that season around. But the fact that Florida hired him with all the baggage that he brings, hey, good on him. That's why I think
he created his own baggage while he's been there too, though, apparently.
allegedly very important. Yeah, allegedly. But I mean, honestly, someone watches what he's doing in Florida, and then they
Mhm.
go like, "Well, we'll hire Will Wade. Like, if he can win games, it's worth it. It gets real quiet. All the controversy gets quiet if you're winning ball games. So, um,
True. True.
yeah. But anyways, yeah, our path to the SEC tournament, if we can beat Bama, I think that's massive. Getting us to a semifinal, Saturday game, Sunday game. That's what I'm looking for. Like, let's win a game. Let's get some confidence going. Let's stay healthy is massive.
Mhm.
Um, which is more important for this team? Rest before the tournament championship or continue? Jaron, so to me, I just want to see postseason success, and I know that's kind of a cop out. Like, either one would be happy. We win the SEC tournament, I'm gonna be happy. Until we don't do well in the NCAA tournament. So I guess I'm kind of being a hypocrite right now. But like, what's if I had to choose, I guess best way for me to put this, and it's linear, let me know if you agree. If I had to choose between Saturday or Sunday in the NCAA tournament versus an Elite Eight Final Four in the NCAA tournament, I think that's easy. Like, give me the Elite Eight. I'll
Right.
lose. I'll be like the women's team and just like bitch about not being able to win a tournament game when we have a better team. But if that means similar to the Arkansas loss. Like if I had to trade the Arkansas game to sweep Tennessee, like we talked about in previous episodes, I'm going to do it. Like I will say Calipari, you can have the W. I don't care. I would rather sweep Tennessee. So if you're saying, hey, let's get some rest in the tournament and focus on the get some rest in the SEC tournament and focus on the big tournament, then yeah, that would be what I would say. But I don't think that's what Pope does. Pope has said multiple
No.
times the SEC tournament matters, and I think he's going to
Hmm.
play the players and coach his ass off to win that thing.
Well, not only that too. This team, every time they've had a break, the game fucking came back. It's been rough. It's been real rough. The first time, like when they've had a break and came back, the first game back has been really, really rough. I don't think this team is better when they play more together, especially now that they are completely adjusting to Robinson being out rest of the season. And I know that's been a thing, but like there's still adjustments to be made there and substitutions and how people play together. And so I think the more and more that this team plays together, the better it's going to just overall help them. So I don't. Plus, to be fair, I'm tired of going home the first weekend of the tournament. I need to win some games, okay, in Nashville. Okay, I need to win some games in Nashville. That's what I need to do. So
Yeah, I agree. We got just get a W. Like we cannot have a
please, just
Thursday
one,
exit.
just
You know,
please.
like it seems silly looking back on it now, but if in to bring up recent pain, the game against Oakland last year, we bring that within 1 point. I believe we brought it with 1 point with that three from Rob. If
Mm-hmm.
Rob sticks on that dude in the corner and the guy misses the shot, we end up winning that game. I think like,
Yeah.
the whole history of Kentucky basketball has changed because we don't lose the NCAA. I think we're so talented that we just get through that, especially like the with the teams being that young. And Goose Given said this on the post game show, and I thought it was like I thought it made sense to me because all the talk has been over the last month. These kids aren't freshmen anymore. Trent's not a freshman anymore.
Mm-mm.
Noah's not or Travis isn't a freshman. Trent Noah's not a freshman. Colin's not a freshman. And then Goose was like, bullshit. He didn't say bullshit, but he was like, they are freshmen because they haven't been in the tournament. And he brought up, he said, we saw Reed and Rob, as talented as they were all season long, they did not play well in the SEC tournament or the NCAA tournament because it was new for them. The pressure was something they hadn't felt before.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, they are still freshmen until they go through that experience. So,
Right.
do our freshmen this year in a different role as not the lean on guys? Can they step up in SEC tournament play, in NCAA tournament play, and can our senior veteran guys say, "Hey, I've been there, done that," and go on and I've been in high pressure games and then go on and do something special. But yeah, you're right. We can't have Big Blue Nation flood Nashville like they do every single year to
And they
sell
go
their
home.
tickets. Yeah, to sell their tickets on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It can't happen. Cannot happen.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Um, Adam, general question: why do you think guys think lower mid-major teams go off of the tournament? They have nothing to lose. They literally have nothing to lose, Adam. Like they're just so damn happy to be there. They have literally nothing to lose, and they're playing with zero pressure.
Yeah, they
Like
just play free.
when you're a lower seeded team, you're not expected to win. All the pressure on the team that's expected to win. Those guys come around there and they just play. They're because you notice that teams that do that, they laugh the entire time. They're having fun. They're cutting up. Like they're just out there hooping, and that catches teams off guard every year.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree that they play free, and I think the other piece of that is they, so the SEC, while the talent is exponentially better than what you're going to see in these mid-major teams,
Hmm.
These mid-major coaches know that they have to play differently. They're doing things. They play differently all year. You're not playing an SEC type team, so so you kind of get used to the slugfest that you go through, or you're playing the same team twice, so you have more film on them. The SEC teams, like, yeah, maybe the team is different, but the coaches are the same, so you know the tendencies. You don't know the tendencies of these other teams, right? Like you
Right.
do what you can to scout, but from selection Sunday until you start the game, there's not a lot of time for you to try to pull tape and figure out what the coach likes to do. Um, all that being said, the fact that the staff we have that Pope built, that's what gives me the most confidence. Like, I'm so confident in the players that Pope put together. But what really elevates my confidence is that there's not a lot of people or not a lot of programs in the country that have the basketball minds that Pope has built at Kentucky right now.
Yeah, agree.
So while we may not know or have the in-depth knowledge of how to defend them, there is going to be a wrinkle. Like, there's going to be things that we see in every single game that are going to, like, just smack these opposing teams in the face. Um, and that's what kind of sucks about having to play or potentially having to play a lot of SEC teams in the tournament. Of, like, if 8, 9, 10 get in, because it's not going to be as shocking. They're going to have played us before, but that being said, I still think there are wrinkles that Pope's going to be able to pull out, and that staff's going to be able to pull out that they've been kind of keeping close to the chest all season.
Well, I mean, I think that was case in point against Missouri, right? Like he made an in-game adjustment after like 8 minutes, and the game never was the same after that. So I think like then that just goes speaks to the staff and their ability to read the game situation and then make adjustments off of that like right then. And that's the type of stuff that in a tournament, especially, like that is so important, so huge. Like that too gives me confidence just because of their ability to do so.
Yeah. Well, hey, and Jaron just asked us a question. I think Sega was just back into where the season recap for Pope's first
That
regular
brown water
season.
hitting you there, Randall?
It might be. Let me polish that some gun off. If I'm grading the season, it's an A. It's an easy A. Did we
Yeah,
have some disappointing losses? Yes. Was this a season that could have resulted in a, like, super special? You beat Alabama, you beat Auburn in the first year, and you don't
yeah.
drop some of the easy ones. You're competing for a top 3 seed in the SEC tournament. You're potentially on a one line in the NCAA. Yes, all that was there. It
Hmm.
was all there. But you know what I haven't had in half a decade? um, or I've had very little of, is rejoicing with my son after beating Duke in a CBS Classic, like watching a team come together like that and beating Duke, traveling to Seattle to beat Gonzaga, like sweeping Tennessee, like to have these games. Like, there's been very exciting games that we've had in the last 5 years. Don't get me wrong. Like the Georgia game when Z came out last year, smacking Bama at home and just absolutely going nuclear
Hmm.
against them. Like, all these things are very exciting. But to have, like, the games that truly matter that Kentucky is used to winning, when you get to smack Duke around with Cooper Flagg, who's National Player of the Year when you get to say that that's on your resume, that is impactful for a season, and you did it year one.
Right. Very,
Year
very early
one,
in the season too. That was at the kicker.
yeah, yeah. So, like, you
Mid-November.
can sit there and
Yeah.
say Duke wasn't the same team they are now. Facts. Neither is Kentucky. Like, while we were healthy in that game, this team was brand new. Like, there was no continuity there. All these dudes were still trying to figure out how to play together. And Pope was
Hmm.
out there coaching his ass off, sitting there trying to figure out, like, that was the game where it seemed like he was literally drawing something up at every single timeout and
Hmm.
every single time down the court, just to try to get a win there.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, if I'm grading this season, on setting program college basketball records, if I'm grading him and what he has done in this season, it's an A. And
Yeah.
what's
I would
most
agree.
important, the unsung piece of this that we're talking about that doesn't go in the win loss column, is the fact that he comes in there and does this in his first season with the team that he put together in 3 months of dudes who were projected to be like the 8th or ninth seed in the SEC tournament. I'm sorry, the SEC in the conference,
Mm-hmm.
and he sets records with it. All these other portal guys, all these other freshmen, 5-star, 4-star recruits, they're watching him and what he's doing. He's like, hey, like Kentucky's a brand in itself, and Pope's doing his freaking thing. So like those
Right.
two things, like I want to go play for this dude. Like, you know, Amari wasn't on a draft board at all, and now we got dudes out there talking about like on Rivals, like, hey, Amari's a second round pick. Like people want Amari.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, tell me a center does with that skill set doesn't want to come play for this dude.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would also give this season an A. And I think even more so just because of the fact of the injuries we've had to deal with as overall as a team, like being down all the point guards except one for a chunk of time, like that's wild. That's crazy. And that's just you I don't think it's, and I know it's been recognized or whatever, but I don't think it's been appreciated outside of this fan base, even within the fan base itself, of the adjustments the team itself has had to make with the injuries, and then with Pope's coaching and the league being the best league in college basketball history at this point. Like, hell yeah, it's an A. Hell yeah, it's an A. Like, yeah, we lost some games, should have lost, of course. But we also won some games we didn't think, no one thought we were going to win. So yeah, hell yeah, it's an A.
Yeah, truly a magical season from Pope.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been an absolute like spectacle. It's been, I mean, you can judge how I feel about a season by the red minus signs in my bank account. Because if I'm invested in a season, I'm dropping stupid money on it. Like, I don't know. I have 1996 championship like gear and memorabilia that I've like just I see it and I can't help it. But, oh, I got this card. This thing's dope. I don't know if y'all can see it. So this came out. Someone made this selection. Can you see that? So
Yeah, there's
It's Pope
okay,
as a
yeah.
player, Pope as a player, and then him coaching. They made like they're only making
Oh,
41 of these.
that's sick.
They're only making for you get it on eBay, and I got
Okay.
number 22. How dope is that? So his very first player, Amari Williams, I got number 20. So I don't know what this is worth right now. It's like $15, but for me it's priceless. So
I got
like I
a
got
I got a 96 championship poster. Never been, it's still in the freaking paper on the wrapper, like on the cardboard. I want to get it signed eventually.
Yeah, I got so much. I mean, I got
Yeah.
shirts that like used quote unquote vintage shirts that I'm paying like $40 for. So it's like 1996 championship shirts. It's got Pope on it. Like I want all this stuff, all these jerseys and stuff, and I'm buying like like I'm investing the state line code folks, like they're dropping stuff for this team and like hard and I'm not the only one, obviously, like all of BBN dropping hard earned money on tickets and merch and all this other stuff because of what Pope has done in this first year and in the resurgence and just like feeling like we are Kentucky basketball again. And that's not discounting or discrediting what Cal did in the first 10 years of his time here. Like, but that's how we feel again. It's
Hmm.
2009 again, right? It almost feels like that, except we have one of our own coming back home and understanding. Like, it's not Cal trying to prove himself as a coach. It's
Hmm.
Hope coming in trying to remind the fan base that Kentucky means something, and like this right here is bigger than what the league might present or what your individual stats are. It's about what can this team do. And when he talked about roster construction, how he wants to go chase 4 and 5-star recruits and he wants to go to the portal. But the big piece of it is like getting dudes who want to return to
Hmm.
Lexington for a couple of years.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think these guys we have, if 6 of them weren't seniors, they would come back next year, I think. And you talked about, how Kentucky means someone in the chest. The best video I've ever seen put together was a senior day video where they were calling their younger selves. The best media output I have seen in so long.
When
That
Lamont
was
said, "You remember John Wall? You're that guy now." I'm just like, "Do not cry. Do not. You are too grown to be getting emotional about this."
I'm a
I'm
grown
like,
ass
"My
woman. I can't cry over
yeah,
this. Damn it, I'm
you know,
crying.
yeah." Especially if you got kids, like it's like you think
Yep.
about like no one expects to be there. Like my son watching these, and we talked about this before. Like he watched Travis Perry, and he can go like, "I can be that dude if I put in the work because." I can 6'1", is probably my ceiling. Like if I can just work on my game, I can be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
To watch
Yeah.
someone like Lamont and say like, I'm a West Coast dude from Riverside, California. I did not, expect to be out here in Lexington playing ball. I remember the John Wall dance. I'm that dude now. I'm the point guard for Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That was all the journey videos have been great, but when it comes to like Kentucky media putting something together, that was cream of the crop for sure.
Chef's kiss.
Yes,
So
yeah,
good.
that will
So
that'll
good.
get a grown man or a grown woman right in the feels for sure.
It did.
Golly, can you imagine a Banner 9 video? Oh my God, I will hold them back at that point. I will be full on just
Well,
losing it.
if they're doing a Banner 9 video, we're gonna be on State Street together. Apparently, we've already made these plans. We're gonna be
Oh
burning
yeah,
shit
true.
together.
For sure, for sure. I'll be on a burning couch, cry my eyes out, boozed up.
You'll be on the couch effectively burning.
Oh man. But wait, do you anticipate the refs being just as bad? No, no, because we're not going to get SEC refs. So I think we're going to get like really, really good refs. So as long as we don't have um, and I think it's a rule. I think it's a tournament rule where like you can have like refs from the same conference or something. I don't know. I don't know necessarily know how they do that, but I think the ref play will be or the ref performances will be a tier above what we've seen throughout conference play.
But I also wonder if that's a detriment, though, just because the boys are so used to playing a certain style and being able to play a certain style, and then when you're in the tournament you can't play that style anymore because it's getting called. How do you adjust to not being as physical? Because I feel like there have been teams from the SEC before that's kind of ran into that problem where they'll play the SEC physical style of basketball, and then it's getting ticky tack called in the tournament, and they're like, well, shit, what do we do now? Because to be
Yeah,
fair, SEC
that's
is
true.
like it's really physical. So
Yeah, I mean, and you kind of hope that you get while they're not used to calling SEC games, you get the kind of mindset of like, hey, this is tournament play. It's going to be rough, kind of like NBA playoff basketball. Like
mm-hmm.
regular season NBA ball sucks, but like in the playoffs, like they're actually banging and like they're playing physical and they care about it. So
Yeah,
if that's the case, then it plays to our advantage, right? So the opposite side of that is maybe they say it's tournament play. We're going to let these boys play. So yeah, that's a good thing. And we need some of that Pope magic, like that. He's got that charisma. People love him. He's just a happy go lucky guy. People enjoy him. So maybe that helps play too. Like let's go talk to the rest beforehand. Let's get
it
in the
ain't helped so
preparation.
far. What are you talking about?
Say what?
It ain't helped so far.
Well, that's SEC play. I think that's just the Kentucky brand. Like, unfortunately, that's been. I don't know that he can turn the tide on that or the narrative on that, but I don't know. Hopefully, it's not an issue. Hopefully, we're not talking about the refs in the tournament.
Nope. I was told today I stopped talking about the refs as much, so I'll do so.
Well, when they suck so bad, it's hard. You know.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, it's something. Deputy, I agree. This has been the most fun season watching in a long time. Um, and I don't think for me, not just because of the play, but also just because the watching these players and Pope sort of like immerse themselves within the fan base. That's what's
Yeah.
been so fun to me. You see Pope after every game, and no matter where it's at, come back out and sign every UK fan's autograph or talk to every UK fan. The players do that. Like that has been why it's been so fun for me, because I feel like that sort of connection to the team and the fan base has been missing, and now that's back, right? Like these are genuine, these are our boys now. Like
Yeah,
these are our boys now, and that's different than it has been the past couple of years where they've sort of been um like withdrawn and like just been with the team and that's it. This is why it's been so fun for me. Not just because we're winning games and like it's a good season and I love these kids, but it's because they are our boys now versus the past.
yeah, 100% agree with you. Like they all these guys or most of them are going to have a year at Kentucky, and they're going to have multiple years at their other school, but they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
remembered as cats, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it- we're even the Drexel dudes like aren't going to remember Amari as a Drexel, whatever the hell their mascot is. They're going to remember him as a Kentucky Wildcat. Like he's going
Mm-hmm.
down in the books as a Kentucky Wildcat, one of the best centers in the conference, one of the best centers in college basketball this year.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Lamont. Lamont got them to a Final Four, and yes, like there's number 5 jerseys walking around San Diego still, but like he's going to be remembered as the dude who came to Kentucky and was the point guard for the Kentucky Wildcats. Kobe Bryant, like he's going to go down as one of the best shooters in Kentucky history. And yes, he came from Dayton, but he's going to be run as a Wildcat. Same with Otega. Like when they all get drafted, or go wherever they're going to play in ball, it's going to be from the University of Kentucky, and that
Yeah.
is meaningful for us when you represent the jersey or in the state and the university like they have all season long.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this when we had Amari, or when we had Ansley on the show
Mm-hmm.
very, very early on before the season started. They all had the same mindset, and that's what really got us so excited about this team. Was not a single one of them thought they were stepping into Rupp Arena to play a basketball game as the home team, or
Right.
as like it's just not like they. This was like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and yes, while some of them like Ansley took a backseat role and they could have gone somewhere else to be like the dude, it was like I have to
Mm-hmm.
take an opportunity to play for the best college basketball program in the country.
Yeah.
I have to take that chance. Like, and he's had some wildly successful games, and he's been the X factor in some of these games. So not only did he come here, he lived up to the hype as being a deadly shooter and an experienced veteran who has
Mm-hmm.
also had tournament success. So yeah, absolutely love this team. It'll be a team that I remember for forever. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yes, like again, we've said 100 times, some of the losses have stung, but you don't remember those. You don't
Right.
remember those. You remember like I'm gonna remember the Duke win for forever. I'm gonna remember the Gonzaga win for forever. Um, it's it's like the Malik Monk 47-point game against UNC. Like I will never forget where I was watching that game. I have erased from my memory where we were when May hit that shot and kicked out of the tournament. Like that has been deleted, but I will never forget
I never think
what
about that. You brought it
Tayshaun.
up.
Yeah, I'll never forget what Tayshaun Prince did. I'll never forget what Jody Meeks did. I'll never forget what Malik Monk did, and I'll never
Mm-hmm.
forget the games that these dudes put
Brandon
together.
Knight game
Um,
winner against Ohio
yeah,
State. Yep.
yes, yeah. Or Aaron Harrison. Those three threes like these guys that have come in this first season for Coach Pope
Mm-hmm.
are inked in the Kentucky legacy for what they have done because they've all had special games. The Lamont Butler game against Louisville, like that will be implanted in my memory for forever
Yep.
as why that was a guy that Pope had to have,
Yep.
and he got him. So yeah, it's been a great season. It's definitely an A+ season, and let's just hope it's an A+ postseason. And just I can't help but just go back to the fact of like I have faith in these dudes who are experienced. And I have faith in these coaching staff, and I'm so hard pressed to come up with a scenario in my head where we're going to be disappointed.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm sad that it's over. Like the regular
It
season's over
is. It's
already.
bittersweet. It is
Like I'm like,
bittersweet.
damn, that was fast. Really fast. But I'm looking forward to watching the postseason, obviously. And I really want it to go as long as possible. Like give us time with this team for as long as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
F March basketball. Let's play some April basketball, please. Let's have some April madness. That's what we need.
that's what we need right there. We need April Madness. Although, listen, March is like the best basketball like ever. Like I love March March, but for basketball season and stuff. But yeah,
Oh yeah, I've already let the people who I work with know, like, this next month, like, as we get into late March and into April, expect me to be completely worthless as a human being while I'm doing my job, because there's going to be the sports app up on my phone and I'm going to be watching these games. If I don't just decide to bounce and just come home and just watch it myself, because it's, again, this once in a lifetime experience. There's going to be a game, hopefully not ours, where it's like, how did this team? There's the Ansley and FDU against number one
right.
Purdue. Like, there's going to be that again. Um, and it's going to be special. Yeah, there's nothing better. There's no better sports thing in the world than March Madness, which is why when they talk about jacking it up and adding more teams to it, I just don't understand. Like, it's perfect as it is. Let's not do it again. Let's not mess with it again.
Mm-mm. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Let's not do
But
that.
yeah,
Well, hey, first ever live show. I think it went pretty good. We
I
got
hope
over
so.
400 people on here helping. You didn't
Shit.
you didn't you didn't help me consume, but
Listen,
well, next
okay,
time, well, it's
okay.
I think
Listen,
it's poor planning on your part.
for those who are watching, let me be very clear about this. This man sprung this on me about 2.5 hours ago, and he texted me and said, "Hey, live stream."
It's
I was
it's
like,
accurate.
"Shit, what?" And I had just woken up from a long, like, complete factory reset nap. Okay, and I was like,
All this is very true. All of this is
"Okay."
also excuses. Okay.
Freaked out. So maybe I'm not prepared with an alcoholic beverage in my hand. Next time, though, I got you. I'm your girl. But this time, no. Next time, I
Bet.
will be
Well,
having some tequila with you.
if we get through Thursday, we'll have to plan something. We'll get the ladies unleashed on here. We'll just have a
Hell
good old
yeah.
time. So I know y'all like to party for show.
This is accurate as well.
Yes. Yeah. I've listened to those shows. If you have not, you need to. It's a wild time, um, and you won't regret it for sure. Oh, I think it's about time to wrap it up. I'm
Yeah.
glad we have a little bit of a break. My anxiety won't start until Thursday, thank goodness, because I'll just be out there hyping this team up. Can't wait for Pope to get on his show, um, and
Yeah.
talk about what we got going on. Let's hope for Georgia. I would love to be able to smack them around and get a win in tournament play against them and kind of settle the score and send them home. But outside of that, just go Cats.
Go Cats.
And what do we say? Peace.